In this help video, I'd like to look at how to use the MTPredictor tools once they've been placed on the NinjaTrader 8 chart. In another separate video, you'll see how to actually get these onto the chart. But once they're there are two ways that you can then use the tools. There are the right mouse click options. If I right mouse click, you can see in the menu here, we have our MTPredictor tools here. There's also at the top, can you see there's a button that says MTPredictor or MTP here? If I left click on that, you can see our MTPredictor tools are available there as well. So let's go through these and have a look at how to place them on the chart or how to use them, going through one by one. If I right mouse click, the first one is clear all, and you'll see that in a minute. It clears the MTPredictor analysis of the current chart. The clear allows you to clear the last or clear individual MTPredictor items off the chart individually if you wish. But the first one that I want to look at is this analyze trade setup, because this is the one you'll be using mostly. So the way you use this off the right mouse click is you have to hover over the correctly colored reversal bar first and foremost. So we had a DP cell here. So if I hover over that red bar, can you see the mouse is over the red bar? You want to be over a red bar for a sell and over the blue bar you can see here for a buy. So if I hover over the red sell bar here, right mouse click and then do analyze trade setup, can you see how the analysis is then placed on the chart for you? This example, it actually says risk exceeded, but obviously you can change your account size on the option at the top there for different account sizes, and there's a separate video to show you how to set those up. But you have to be over the correctly colored reversal bar. I'm just going to do the clear all now just to show you how that clears the chart. So let's say, for example, I had the mouse over this grey bar. Can you see that there? I'm over the grey bar. If I right mouse click, do analyze trade setup, nothing happens. If I'm over the blue buy bar here, do you see that? I'm over the blue buy bar. If I do analyze trade setup, nothing happens. So for the analyzing the trade setup, you have to make sure you're over the correctly colored reversal bar. So that's red for a sell, blue for a buy. So again, it's over the correctly colored reversal bar, right mouse click to analyze trade setup. Or if you're using the option here off the menu bar, you click on that, then you click on analyze trade setup, then as it says here, it says select the trade setup bar. So again, you have to click on the correctly colored reversal bar, and that places the MTPredictor analysis on the chart. Once it's on the chart, you can actually grab and drag it. Can you see I'm holding the left mouse down here, and I can grab and drag the target price to where you want. You remember that will then adjust the risk reward profile and also do the calculations for you. You can also adjust the stop target as well if you wish, and that changes that as well. So it's very easy just to grab and drag the targets if you wish. I'll just clear that all off. Let's have a look at the next one. The next one is risk reward. This is if you want to set up a manual risk reward. So in this case, you don't have to be over the correctly colored reversal bar because you're setting up a manual trade. So you click on the item, and here the tooltip, it says select the entry bar. So in this case, you select over the bar you want to enter the trade for. So let's say you were back here and you wanted to enter on this trade. The next one, you select the stop bar. So you click on the bar where you want the stop. Then, as the tooltip says there, you select the target price. So again, you click at the price level at which you want the target price. And again, you can grab and drag those as you wish. So that's a manual risk reward. So it's just allowing you to place a trade where you wish. You can click on any bar you wish for the entry, any bar you wish for the stop, and then the target price. And as you can see, it sets up a manual risk reward for you there as well. So that's a way to do that for setting up a manual risk reward. The next one is the decision point. For this, you don't have to be over the correctly colored reversal bar, you have to be over the correct pivot. So let's actually just change the time frame here, because I'm just going to go out to the 15-minute chart and just look at placing this on a 15-minute DP, because I want to show you how it stays on the chart when you change time frame. So now I'm going to hover over this pivot here. Just want to show you if I'm just missing the pivot. Do you see here? I'm just not quite at that pivot low. So I'm going to right mouse click over this bar, and I'm going to then click on decision point. Can you see how nothing happens? It doesn't happen because I'm not over the actual pivot. So do you remember, for placing your analysis, you have to be over the correctly coloured reversal bar. For the DP, you have to be over the pivot. So here you can see there's our pivot low. So I'll make sure the mouse is over that pivot. I then right mouse click, I then do decision point, and can you see how it's now placed on the chart for you? I want to show you now how it stays on the current chart when you change time frame, because this is now a 15-minute chart. So if I go back down to the 3-minute chart, can you see how that DP has changed, has sort of stayed on that current chart for you? It only stays on the current chart if you have two NinjaTrader charts that have the symbols linked. For example, one's a 15-minute, one's a 3-minute, and you place the DP on one of your charts, it will not show on the other chart, on a completely separate chart. It only stays on your current chart. So if you want to show the higher time frame DP, you can see here it says it's the 15-minute. On your 3-minute chart, you have to have it on the current chart. Once it's on the current chart, it will stay there. So say if I just place some analysis on, you can see there's my analysis. If I now do clear all, it only clears the analysis that's placed on that particular time frame. So the higher time frame DP will stay on. If you want to delete this, there's two ways of doing it. You either select the DP, so it's highlighted, right mouse click and then do remove, or you go to the time frame that the DP was placed on, in this case the 15-minute, and then when you're on the 15-minute, you can then clear everything off and then go back to your 3-minute. So there's two different ways of doing that if you wish. The next item on here is our Elliott waves. Here's our minor and intermediate and major Elliott waves. The way you do this is similar to the DPs. You have to be over the pivot. So I just want to have a look at this top here. So if I say I'm got the mouse in and around here, I right mouse click and do Elliott wave intermediate. Can you see how it, in this case, it actually finds the pivot? In other words, you can be a couple of bars off and it will actually find the pivot high. But in reality, it's better to be over the pivot. So when you're doing this yourself, really try and be over the pivot. Just makes things easier. So what it does, if you right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate, it will take a look at that pivot in isolation, and if there's an Elliott wave count, it will then place it on the chart. You can see there it's found a 5-wave sequence up into that high. If I go back to this pivot here, this one, right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate, can you see how it's found an ABC correction down to there? If I say try this bottom one here, right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate, can you see here it says no Elliott wave pattern found? Do you see the tooltip there? So what it's telling you is at that particular point there, there's no Elliott wave pattern coming in there. So remember, we use our unique isolation approach to Elliott wave. In other words, we're only looking to analyze the Elliott wave in isolation. We're not looking to place the counts in with other higher time frames or place them one after the other, because we've found over time, because markets are random half the time, in that particular wave, placing Elliott wave on a chart doesn't tend to work in real life. So that's why we develop our unique isolation approach, so it only works in isolation. So I'll just clear that all off. The last item in here, if I right mouse click, is the manual WPT up and manual WPT down. You can see here it allows you to place the target, the wave price target, on the chart in advance. So let's say, for example, you think this is going to be an ABC correction off here. What you can do is right mouse click, do WPT, in this case WPT down. Let's say we think this might be a wave 3 unfolding. So this is allowing you to place your targets on if you have your own manual Elliott wave count. So let's say we want to try and place a wave 3 target. So now it says select the beginning of wave 1. So we'd say that perhaps this is the start of wave 1. It then tells you to select the end of the wave 1. So we click on this bar here, or the pivot here, then the end of the wave 2. We say we click on this pivot here, and can you see how it now places the targets on the chart? If I zoom in a bit, you can see there's the typical wave 3 and the maximum wave 3. And the waves have been labeled 1, 2. So this is more for if you're more of an advanced trader and you've got your own idea of a potential Elliott wave count, you can then place the targets on the trade for you manually. Why would you want to do that? Well, maybe you want to do your own trade setup, so perhaps then you want to place your own risk reward on here, and then you can do a you can build your own trade setup, perhaps in and around your own manual Elliott wave count with your own targets and also your manual risk reward. So there are tools you can use if you're more experienced user, and allow you to use the MTPredictor tools above and beyond just the automatic setups. So hopefully that's been a quick review of how to use our MTPredictor tools and MTPredictor add-ons for NinjaTrader 8. The main ones you'll be using is do the Analyze Trade Setup. So remember, for analyzing a trade setup, you have to be over the correctly colored reversal bar. So if it's for sell, it's a red. If it's a buy, it's for a blue. So over the correctly colored reversal bar, right mouse click and do Analyze Trade Setup. If you're placing a DP on the chart, a decision point, you have to be over the pivot. So that's the difference. So analyzing the trade setup, the correctly colored actual bar, placing a DP as a pivot. So over that pivot, then place your DP, and as you can see that on the chart there for you. So you can either do these off the right mouse click, or you can do these off the MTP button there, and there's our MTPredictor tools. You can either do them either way. So as you can see, quite easy to use and available on the right mouse click or the MTP button off the top of your NinjaTrader 8 chart.